This is Karen with My I'm Possible Dream, and I'm at the Milestones Autism Resources office. And if you don't know what Milestones Autism Resources is, I suggest you go to their website. It's milestonesautismresources.org. No, I'm sorry, milestones.org. See, I wanted to give you the whole name. So milestones.org, all one word. And go find out who Milestones really is. But today I'm with Monica, and we're talking about going back to school, and typically about children with special needs going back to school, but this could apply to just about anybody going back to school because, they've been off for 10, 12 weeks. And everybody tends to regress a little bit during those 10, 12 weeks, but especially our kiddos with special needs, and especially those on the spectrum. So Monica, tell me, if I have a child on the spectrum and they're going back to school, what do I have to look for, and how can Milestones help me?
Oh, Milestones has a wide range of services that we can support with, but should, just like you said, should you have questions about, starting a new school, or even a child going into the same school that they were in last year but a new teacher, if you want some pointers, perhaps you'd want to, if it is a new school, you'd want to go ahead and visit that school, meet the teachers, maybe go over the documentation that you have, and how, the school's thoughts, the teacher's thoughts, special ed team, how they're going to meet your child's goals and objectives. But I think familiarizing your child with his school, her school, and the teachers is a good way to start. Then of course you have social stories and schedules and those kinds of things.
Absolutely. I know yesterday Alex spoke out at the Kent School District, and I spoke to a couple of teachers out there, and they were asking us, when Alex was in school, did we go to the schools a couple days early to meet with his teachers? And I said, sadly, when Alex was diagnosed in 1996, those weren't options back then. And they said, well, we meet with many of our students even early in the summer. And I said, what a phenomenal, concept. So I like the idea that you can go to classrooms, look at it even before anybody's in there.
Right.
Because the first day of school, overwhelming.
Right, all these kids and the bus. And my daughter has a 504 and she's in college. We talked about this, and my son is typical child, but even as far as bus situation, he was starting kindergarten and I saw the bus driving around the neighborhood. They must have been, teaching new drivers. The bus was stopped at the end of the street, and I went up to the bus driver and said, can I ask you a question? Yeah. Would you mind if my son took a look at the bus? And and she's like, they were so we walked in the bus, and this is what you're going to be riding on. And I think people respond to your wanting to help your child, because really when we all work as a team together, it makes a nice even flow, and the transition easier.
Absolutely. But sadly, most of us as parents don't always think about those things because we wait for others to tell us it's okay.
Right, and that's when Milestones, you can call us and we'll guide you. What I like to do too is parents probably have these thoughts in the back of their minds, but maybe they feel intimidated or they're afraid to take that step. But I think if you approach any thought that you have with just open arms with them as well, that they're responded to you. But we're here if you have any thoughts, if you'd like to run your thoughts past us. Milestones is more than happy to answer any of your questions with regards to the transition process and many other issues, concerns.
So how long have you been doing this with Milestones?
I'm kind of a newbie here at Milestones. I've been here about 6 months, but my experience with this special education community really goes back 25 years. I was originally a special ed major as an undergrad, and more recently I've worked directly with one-on-one in the special ed classrooms with the educational service centers in the eastern Ohio area, northeast Ohio area. So I have a wide range of from mild to severe.
So you totally then get what parents are going through. You've got that empathy, and empathy is more important than sympathy any day of the week.
Without a doubt, I agree. That's a really nice way to put it.
Well,
Yeah.
you know, I've had people along the way, especially with Alex, they'll say, "Oh, I'm so sorry," and they're going to want to sympathize. But there's nothing to be sorry about. Our children they're unique.
Right.
And they're special, and they're not imperfect, because if you look at that word imperfect,
What word is in there, right?
it's I'm perfect.
That's right.
And we just have to take
Love that.
their conditioning and just make it a little bit more environmentally friendly.
That's right. That's right. Work with our kids because they are intelligent. They just, and really, our society as a whole, we're all different. We all, some of us, our brains just work a little bit differently than others, and we need a little more structure, a little more planning time. I think our kids just need to be, like you said, the empathy, and we need to raise the bar for them as well, and empower them. Because I think when they do struggle, maybe it lowers their confidence level a little bit. So on top of their struggles with different learning techniques, and teachers aren't maybe familiar, and it kind of lowers their confidence. And I think that might even make things a little more difficult for them.
Well, something else that we learned yesterday in Alex's speaking engagement, it came. The superintendent was talking about that so many educational systems are based on you've got to learn this, and then you've got to be tested and be able to perform this before you go on to that. And what we've seen, especially with Alex and the others that we have worked with in the community, is that trying to strive to reach a goal that has been set for you is not necessarily identifying if you're smart or not smart, because we're missing all those other components that make you special.
That's right.
You know, when I look back at Alex, you give him something in history and he excels. You give him something in math, it's not that he can't do it, but if it's math around sports, he excels. If it's math around going out and buying groceries, forget it.
Yeah, right.
Okay? So when you have parents who are calling you, it's the end of the summer, their kids are now starting school, and it's the first week of school, and all of a sudden it looks like maybe they've lost some of those skills. Any suggestions how they can
Get themselves
back on track?
Well, I think the kids that are on IEPs, I know we talk about, that extended school year, that's always a good option. But of course, when you're in August, I think working with the kids, at home and making it fun at home. So when you were talking about your son not really liking mathematics, but I think that too, like everyday life, you can incorporate some sort of, driving down the street. There's street signs, there's letters, there's, you can throw in mathematics. How many blue cars are there on the road, and how many red cars are on the road, and you can do addition. I mean, simple little things like that might help, and tap into what they like. If they do like sports, right? Who's your favorite baseball player on the Indians team? So you could start with that, and what position does he play, and maybe if he likes statistics, how is that person batting, and kind of incorporate. There's all kinds of I think tapping into the likes and creativity, but again, it's sometimes, like I said, parents have this in the back of their mind, but maybe they are unsure. But calling us, reaching out to others that might help you, reach into your creative side, or tap into some of those thoughts, or give us a call. Our number here at Milestones is 216-464-7600. And our website, as Karen mentioned, milestones.org. Our website is packed full of information from, I love the calendar, that you can put in your child's age. What exactly are you looking for? A support group? Are you looking for some tutoring? We have people that will tutor free. I mean, that might be another option. So at Milestones, when you talk about getting kids back on track for school, there are activities outside of school that are fun, that will kind of pull back that knowledge, get that knowledge, that brain working again. We have all kinds of social groups that range from academics to rec, that will kind of get kids back on track into the academic and social as well. So our website is a wonderful, wonderful resource.
Well, I also want to mention that once a year you put on a phenomenal conference.
Yes.
And I think every parent should go to the conference. This is the first year that Alex and I both went. Alex was a speaker. He would not let me speak, and that was fine.
You've done your job.
Yes, I did my job. I just sat back and just listened.
Yeah.
And I only got to go to one other speaker myself because I was so busy at the Autism Speaks table. But I got to meet a lot of people. And I've stayed in contact with a lot of people. But what I found is that many of the parents that I met, I learned so much from them. Mm-hmm. And when they say, when you've met one autistic person, you've met one autistic person,
I love that.
How true that statement is, in that you can learn so much. Mm-hmm. And I learned from the parents that for years I thought I was so alone. I was the only one who was raising my son and feeling alone. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But I wasn't. Mm-mm. And now I don't feel alone anymore, because now I have people that I can connect with. Mm-hmm. So if we get nothing else out of these monthly podcasts with Milestones, mm-hmm. if we can get people to understand the services that you have, mm-hmm. and the conference once a year.
Oh, goodness. The conference, this year, I believe there were 88 speakers, 900 visitors a day, 2 days at the IX Center. Yes, 900 attendees each day, so shy of 2,000 attendees. It was amazing, amazing. And like you say, Karen, building those relationships, that's priceless. And people, you feel isolated, you feel alone. It's me, and you do have a lot, especially we have so many families call us that are struggling with the IEP process, that are struggling with getting their schools on board. And there's nothing more than us wanting to help you work through those processes, because it can be difficult, but the conference is just amazing. Being here 6 months, I feel like I've learned more in the 6 months than being here 5 years. It's just, this team is amazing. Mia and Alana have just formed a tremendous community relationship here with Milestones. And you know, this 120 speakers we had at the conference this year, 90 workshops, reaching out to families, individuals, professionals, educators, therapists, you know, CEUs. It's just endless. It's just, and I'm just blown away by how phenomenal, like you said, Karen. It's just, you know, just amazing. Yes, just amazing. So, and the conference is always in June. This year it will be the week of June 14th. We haven't finalized a date yet, but it's 2 days in June, and it's amazing to think that they came from having it at a small center to now taking most of the IX center. It's just phenomenal, and we're grateful for the community and for, you know, everyone's wrapping their arms around Milestones. And
well, we're going to make it grow and grow because, you know, again, when Alex was diagnosed in 1996, there was very little out there. Mm-hmm. There's more and more as time is going on. When Alex was diagnosed, it was 1 out of 150. Today, it's 1 out of 68, and I truthfully believe that if we recalculated those numbers, we would see it's even, you know, larger than that. Right. But the numbers don't make a difference. Mm-mm. The reality is, autism is here. It's here to stay. But just because somebody's on the spectrum doesn't mean that they aren't functional, doesn't mean that they're not possible, doesn't mean they shouldn't have a full education, doesn't mean that they should be picked on in the classroom.
The bullying is
just amazing. And I will tell you, Alex is online every single day, and whenever he sees yet one more story, it destroys him because he was bullied, and he wears those scars openly to this day.
It's terrible. I mean, the bullying, as we know, but bullying kids that don't have a difficult time navigating because of their needs, their special needs.
Right.
It just doesn't seem, it's just not right. And I don't know, there's an organization now that has a bench. It's like the Together bench.
Yes, I've seen that. Yeah. Yes.
And so kids that need a friend will sit on that bench. Mm. And like we've been talking about different ways to navigate through, like, you know, if schools had you know, like a buddy program, and, you know, I think getting teachers on board, I mean, not just the special ed teachers, but, you know, building that community that, like, it's okay to be friends with someone that's different. It's empowering. It makes you feel good inside. And, you know, so yeah, bullying it's something that we really need to work on. And I think again, with the creativity, I think, you know, having a younger student with an older student, or, you know, an honor student with a special needs student. I know they have some programs where, like, a football player, the quarterback is, you know, walking with a special needs student to engage the rest of the school. Like, this is a great thing for everyone. It's empowering. It's, you know, to feel good on the inside, and to definitely stop this bullying it's really a goal that we need to.
So we know there are some kids in school who have an IEP, mm-hmm. but not everybody can get an IEP. Mm-hmm. What are the qualifications? I mean, why is it so difficult? Do you have any background on that?
For IEPs? Well, if you see that your child is struggling academically, socially, you certainly want to go to your pediatrician. Your first don't hesitate. Go to the pediatrician. Talk to the pediatrician. Go to, here at Milestones, we have a website packed full of medical individuals who will do assessments. There's the DSM. They use various tools to test your kids and ensure that they're meeting those milestones per se, that they're, and the school, you would want to request in writing a multi-factored evaluation. Talk to your school, talk to the teacher, but if you see your child is struggling, you definitely want to talk to your teacher. Start with the teacher, then go to the special education team, the school psychologist, and work together with your doctor and the school psych and ask them. You want to ask your school in writing to do a multi-factored evaluation, and then they'll see exactly where your child is in need. Is it in reading? Is it in mathematics? Is it social skills? Is there some fine motor things going on? Do they need to build those writing skills?
Right.
So, yes.
Because I remember when Alex was first diagnosed, it came actually through the school.
That's awesome.
We had seen some signs, and his doctor kept saying to us, "What are you looking for? Leave things alone." But we got a letter that came home and said we needed to meet with the school psychologist, and we had always been told, you never want to get anything from the school psychologist because that's bad news. And so my husband and I walked into the school with our heads down. We were in shame, and the first thing she said to us was, have you ever heard of autism? And we looked at her and said, sure, why? And my wheels are turning because Alex used to pound his head against the wall, and Alex used to ask repetitive questions over and over again. And he used to line up his trains, in specific orders. And so she started asking us questions, and then she said, your son doesn't like loud noises, does he? And I said, no. And then she said, I think he needs another evaluation because this is what we believe.
How old was he then?
He was 6. And as soon as he went to the neurologist and he was officially diagnosed, I went back to his pediatrician and I said, I've been saying this since he was 18 months. And all we got was, I'm sorry. So I ask parents right from the beginning when we speak to them, when you ever have any doubt, research it. Go back and ask over and over and over again. Do I think Alex would be any different today? I'm not so sure because, again, that was in the 90s. They weren't doing much different.
Isn't 3, but 6 is. And it's wonderful that the school came to you.
Absolutely.
Because
we were lucky.
Yeah. And you're right. Sometimes it could go both ways. Sometimes the school is not seeing what you're saying, and the doctor is not seeing what you're saying. But you need to go with your gut. You need to go with and do research and contact organizations such as Milestones and talk to them and see what professionals can tell you.
Absolutely. So you guys are doing a phenomenal program. We are, like I said, my I'm Possible dream believes in everything that you do. We know that there's not one organization that's perfect, but you guys come very, very close to it.
Thank you.
I want our listeners to know that there's not one person here that Alex and I have met who isn't sincere or caring. And we have to thank you for that and your volunteers. I mean, you have all...
Oh my goodness, the community that's built around that Alana and Mia have...
Unbelievable.
It's unbelievable. 13 years of dedication and relationship building and just heart and soul. They put everything they have into it. Yeah. It's phenomenal.
Well,
Organization.
Alex and I are going to be speaking before the medical students at Case Western Reserve on Friday.
Oh, okay.
We are going to let them know about Milestones.
And Karen, guess what? They were here.
They were here?
We had a little team, little get-together, conference-y kind of thing. We had about 19. Yeah, last month.
How wonderful.
Yes.
Well-
Myself, Beth, and we had an intern, Lindsay, who is working to be a speech pathologist.
How
And so
terrific.
it was wonderful. And they were so receptive, and that's it.
They are great.
Because even though the autism community is growing and building, and we're connecting, it's still there's loopholes.
Absolutely. Well, and this is the fourth group of medical students that we're going to talk to. So Alex and I are really excited because what we have found is that the medical students, their questions are, how do we talk to someone on the spectrum? And how do we talk to the parents? Because, it's a sensitive subject.
Sure.
And what
Like when you went in.
exactly. And what Alex says, even when he was younger, ask me what I am feeling.
Right.
And when I tell you that I feel like I have a war going on in my head, try to understand that. And when my mother tells you that it's not behavioral, understand that we have to do a different type of therapy. So for almost 17 years, we were doing behavioral therapy, and it wasn't working. And it was almost 2 years ago that Alex sat his dad and I down and said, you can't punish me. And we looked at him and we said, we're not trying to. He said, yeah, you are. And we had to change everything that we were doing. And we also realized that was happening in his education as well. If he didn't do it right, he was getting punished.
Yeah.
Alex to this day cannot write cursive properly. He used to get his hand slapped.
Right.
Well, who cares what his writing looks
That's
like?
right. That's right.
And now everything is cognitive. And what a change.
I think if we just breathe for a minute, like teachers, parents, step back. It's hard when you're in the circle, like that's how, when you're inside the circle,
Yep.
it's so, but if you could step out and kind of analyze it, you might, the answers, but it's just, it's hard. It's a road for sure, and see what's working, this is not working. I mean, I've done the same thing with my kids. Mom, this, that, but that's inside the circle.
Exactly.
And so I think if we, and see what's working, and try another path.
And that's why
something.
And that's why this organization is so great, because there are so many different individuals here who can step outside and say, you know what, maybe this,
Right.
maybe that.
Try this, try that. Talk to your teacher about this. And I think schools also. I mean, you go to school to become an educator, and you're taught, I think maybe 1 or 2 special ed classes. But when you have kids, you differentiate learning. But when you have, and I give teachers a lot because it's so wide. But we see something's not working, and even at home, something's not working. Let's step back and give it another look. Write it down. I like to tell write down your thoughts. Write it on a napkin. Write it, whatever. Just and come back to it and see maybe something else at work. Talk to your teacher. Maybe the kids' teachers. Maybe can we try something else? Can we make this work?
Absolutely.
Somehow make this work.
Well, on this Sunday, August 23rd, it's going to be the Walk for Autism Speaks at Progressive Field. Registration opens at 8 a.m. All festivities begin at 9 a.m. Milestones is going to be there, and you will be able to come to the resource fair and meet with them, talk to them, grab their ear, and learn all about Milestones. Are you going to be there, Monica?
Yes, I am going to be there.
Wow, that's terrific.
Yeah.
So that's a great reason for all of you to come out and meet Monica, learn
Yes.
about IEPs. There will be other people there from Milestones as well. Join in with all the entertainment that we're going to have going on. Gerard Cherry, 3-time Super Bowl champ, is going to be our MC.
Awesome.
And lots of entertainment, including the Alex Hale. But we have some others. John J. Adams from the Cleveland Indians will be setting off the parade, and he will be banging his drum. And if anybody wants to bang the drum, they can bang the drum as well. Monica, before we conclude this, anything else you want to share with us today?
Well, I just want to thank you for your time, and it was a pleasure to discuss, our favorite people. And we do have some upcoming events here.
Wonderful.
Sponsored by Milestones. The Autism All-Stars is Sunday, September 6th at 6:30 at the Captain's game, Lake County Captains in Eastlake. We have an annual benefit on December 5th of this year. We're always looking for volunteers, and you can connect with us in a variety of ways on social media, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube. And please, please, please check out our website. You won't be disappointed. And like I said, my favorite is the calendar. You can plug in the child's age and exactly what the drop-down menu will ask you what exactly you're looking for, social groups, education. It's phenomenal. Again, our website, milestones.org, easy. And our phone number here, if you want to connect with one of us. We have coaching, free coaching. Depending on the time of year, if we're backed up, it might take a couple days to get back to you, but we'll call you back, and we'll work through some of your concerns and help you. And there's consultations. If you need go the additional rather than just the phone, we meet you here or at another site of your choice. And the number at Milestones 216-464-7600, and again milestones.org. And thank you so much, Karen. It was a pleasure.
Thank you. And they can find all this information on our blog, which is myimpossibledreamah.wordpress, and they are listed there indefinitely, so you'll always find them there. And this podcast will be on YouTube later today, and please share it with all your friends and family, and again, it will stay on YouTube forever. Have a great day.